Well, good morning on a Sunday, fun day, fun day. It's actually quite lovely. Look, it's dark and pretty. It's not all hot and sweaty. How you guys doing? Good morning. Good morning. Anybody new? I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, light worker, starseed, earth angel, prophetierist, psychic, medium, and messenger of God. I am the Lilith reincarnated. I was about to say something and then something else came out. I am here with you with a new message. What do you got for them? Actually, I heard myself say that. I was like, I am the Lilith reincarnated. I say it in every video. What does your brain allow in when I say that? What do you think when I say that? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you allow yourself to hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you allow yourself to accept that I am a soul that has been here before and I'm aware of it and I'm in this body? Or do you think I'm crazy? Or you didn't hear that part? You never hear that part. That part doesn't matter. I'm just curious. I have a lot of people that watch me. I'm like, at any point are you going to let this sink in? Like, I have to do it for new people and they have to accept it. But what about the rest of you? Have you accepted yet that I am a full soul that has been here before many times? And I'm here again, fully awoken, telling you what's going on in the spirit realm, trying to bring you into the spirit realm. Has that awoken to any of your guys' reality yet? Or are you still just watching me as an entertaining show? I don't know. For anybody new, that's what I am. And as I said it, it's like I tell everybody what I am in the beginning. I hate the intros, but I got to tell you what you're messing with. Who did you find? Who's on this? Who's talking to you? Lilith, reincarnated. God's first daughter, remade. I'm here, in the flesh, in 2024, and more. I got another fucking 57 years of this bullshit. I am here to teach you the wonders of God and bring you back to God. I'm supposed to have a goofy life while I'm here. I still gotta live while I'm here. I'm not, in a temple somewhere, being praised and all this shit. I'm here to praise the people and get the people back in. But I say it in every video. I am a fully awoken soul. I am not the flesh. I'm not just some girl named Lisa that was born of, a father and a mother. Everybody is. But I am the soul that lies within. And I come to tell you what the soul is that's inside of you. How it works. Where it goes when you're sleeping. How the world is talking to it. How it talks to you. I'm here to get your soul awoken so you stop working through your mind. And that's where we're at. So, I wanted to have a close-up. Why am I on here? I just finished up the Gacey tapes. I finished up Dahmer last night. I watched the end of Dahmer last night, and I was like, whoa. And I watched the end of Gacey. I've been watching serial killers my whole life. I've been watching them always. These are just new ones that I hadn't watched before. I didn't see these. How did I end up with them? Fucking Netflix. Somebody put a couple dollars in my Cash App. And Netflix knew I had money, and they fucking auto-paid my shit. And I was like, oh my god. So I had to turn it on. I paid for the shit. And then I found the tapes in there. It's a true story. It was a true story. I had a Netflix account that I hadn't been paying because there was no money on the card. And as soon as I put money on the card, them bastards took my money. So I had to watch. I was like, well, I paid for it. Let me find something to do with it. So I started watching simultaneously the Dahmer confession tapes and the Gacey confession tapes. Why did I watch those? Because I really enjoyed watching the Bundy tapes. I watched those for over a year. Just over and over. Why do I watch that? Why would you watch it? Because you want to understand humanity. So I put a post in my community page about, I'm watching these, I'm trying to figure it out. What I found out yesterday was way intense. At the end of it, it says that, of course, probably this is in history, but who cares? It's now. I want to look at stuff now with this perspective. It doesn't matter if I've seen it before. How do I feel about it now? So they say, he got baptized. And then they're like, by coincidence, which we know there's no such thing, it was the day of the solar eclipse, and on the same exact day was the day that Gacey was executed. Now, mind you, I don't know how the Gacey story ends because I'm watching both of these at the same time, but I'm more watching the Dahmer one, so I haven't finished the Gacey. I don't know what happens with Gacey. I should, but I don't. I didn't know how Dahmer died, to be honest, until I watched the end of it. So anyways, I watched this, I'm like, wow. Now, the last thing I got to do is Google, because last time I checked, we didn't have a solar eclipse for like 40 fucking years. And are you telling me that the eclipse that we just had, the last time it happened, was when these two killers met God? No matter how you look at it, they met God on that day. There's many of you that can say that he wasn't worthy, but he was baptized. You know what I mean? He came out with it, I want to come out, and if you understand what a baptism is, he did that, and on the same day, Gacey met God too. Yeah, he met his fate, but he met God before he met his fate. And I found that very interesting. Under the solar eclipse, both of these guys met God. I found that very interesting. Going back to it, what did I want to come at you with? The mind is a dangerous thing. I've watched tons of these. It was only the one from Colorado, the guy, the oil worker, who killed his pregnant wife and his 2 children and put him in an oil tank. It was only when I watched that one years ago that it finally clicked. But, I hadn't watched any since then, not really. And so it was just confirmation. They asked him, they said, why did you do what you did? And he's sitting there, he's like, I don't know, why did I do that? Why didn't I just save my children's lives? Why did I do what I did? Okay. And then you can listen to Dahmer's tapes, or you can listen to these other tapes, and they can tell you with full certainty of why they did what they did. They can tell you, well, this is what I was thinking. And I do that over here. What the fuck were you thinking? Well, I can tell you what I was thinking and why I came to that decision, because I had no other options. You know what I mean? And with that being said, you want to know what the fuck is driving them. It's the shit in their head, bro, that they've seen. It's not inside of them. There's a huge difference, and that's what I was trying to tell Mr. Plum, and he definitely didn't want to hear that on a fucking Sunday morning. I'm sure he didn't, but I have to talk to somebody. I'm like, Dahmer didn't get excited on the kill. He wasn't the Nightcrawler. The Nightcrawler would kill just to kill. It's another fun one. He was probably the most dangerous. He didn't even have a type. These guys all had a type. Dahmer killed because he had to do something, you know what I mean? He because that was the next step. And then, you know what I mean, it became a point where he became creative in how he got rid of the bodies. But it was all about a disposal of the body. It wasn't about the kill. Bundy, it was about the kill. You know what I mean? Gacey, it was about it. You heard him. He's like, once you got those handcuffs on that motherfucker, you had him. And he says it too. No remorse. Dahmer didn't understand. He said it too when he came in. He's like, I want to know what's wrong with me. Am I evil? Am I sick? What is it? He knew something was wrong with him, but he didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it was the after effect. What was his thing? I just want someone to love on me. I want to love someone, but he didn't know how to, so that's where the sedation came from. You know what I mean? I don't know what you want, so I'm just going to keep you quiet and take what I want. You would say that it was violent, but he wasn't. He was trying to keep them just, as he said, zombie-like. You know what I mean? And you're like, damn, this is a whole... Nah, but look at the story, dude. He just wanted someone to stay. He wanted a lover that would stay, that would be there. This is abandonment at the fullest extremes, dude. He was fine with them. He never killed until they had to go. That's when he got sad. Please don't leave. Maybe I can get you to stay. And that shit, dude, when I started hearing he drilled in the head, I was like, oh my God. And why was he doing it? He was thinking of ways to, how can I get you to stay? I don't want to kill you. You know what I mean? And why, you know what I mean? And he loved them. He kept their body pieces because he loved them. It wasn't like, there was other ones that would keep certain tokens, but it was like a reminder that they were still there. They never left him. Do you know what I mean? Other ones, it was about getting rid of them, but it was, to him, it was like, they're not going to leave me. They're still here with me. At the very end, it goes into this whole shrine. He was going to make this shrine, and that's a whole nother thing. Where did he get that? He saw it. Everything he was doing, he had seen. You know what I mean? Down to, what he was doing with humans, he had seen. He had seen it on TV. He had read about it. He had seen it. So the mind normalized that this is what people do because I've seen this before, and we'll do this. You know what I mean? What do? The mind comes up with an idea. He wasn't heart-driven on it. He was extremely logical, very calculative. He just did what the mind said. And you get into a lot of these things, you know, some of them, I can see some of them, it's like, the devil told me to do it. They don't know what that voice is. And because it's evil, you know, go back to the whole Spider-Man. He didn't know what that voice was in him. He thought it was evil. I didn't know what the voice is that I heard inside of me. And the beast, I thought that was evil. It was a self-defense mechanism that would fucking punch somebody in the face. I thought it was evil. Because of what you know what I mean? There's a part of me that outbursts and goes and starts screaming on people. I thought this was evil, you know what I mean? But in the sense of, you know, I can look back at a lot of my things, and that's what I have to do. What were you thinking, little girl? And then my brain will show me. It'll show me I didn't know what to do. This is what I thought I was supposed to do. You can look back now and be like, damn, I should have done, I could have, I would have. But in that moment, your brain is constantly, it's in survival mode. Your brain's trying to get you out of trouble. It's trying to do something to protect you. So going back to it, you know what I mean? Like, it's the mind. If I can tell you anything, it's not the men that you should be afraid of. These are actually, you know what I mean? They're kind, good men, and that's what they say too. It's like, you know, it's the mind gone sour, mixed with emotions. I would watch this for so fucking long, you know what I mean? I've been studying, and humanity's been studying these individuals forever. It's just the mind. Whatever's been fed in the mind on top of the feelings creates this. You know what I mean? These school shooters, they get it from, you know, video games and shit. Well, now they get it because they've seen it before. And you know what Mr. Plum told me? He said back in 79, was an actual school shooting at a university where the guy got on top of the thing and just started snipering or just shooting people. There was a huge school shooting before Columbine. But Columbine was the fucking, you know what I mean, was the tipper. And after that, kids had seen this. I'll just go shoot them up like that one kid did. You know, when you reference something you had seen in your head, what do I do now? Do what you've seen other people do. It constantly is telling you. Your whole mind is off of programmed. It's like, you know, from a child, they just kept putting pictures in front of you and telling you what they were. Your matrix programmed. So going back to Dahmer, you know, I mean, do I think Dahmer's in heaven? Yeah, bro, I do. I think Dahmer was, you know what I mean? He was a victim of his mind, and so were all of his victims. But in the end, his victims meant something to him, more than, you know, not Gacey. They meant nothing to Gacey. They were nothing more than sexual, you know what I mean, sexual power and domination to Gacey. And I found it very funny how he projected on the bisexual prosecutor. Get this bisexual... Dude, what are you talking about? You were married with children and you're having sex with men. You're bisexual. And that's it. He couldn't stand himself. He couldn't stand to see himself in another person. He didn't like this person just because he had seen him where he had been. You know what I mean? And so it's like you project. You hate people that remind you of you. Did we not learn that in my classes? It's just interesting. People want to understand these people, but all you need to understand is what's being fed to them. You know what I mean? And that's it. You listen to their childhood. You know, you listen to Gacey's father and shit. You listen to it and you know right away. It makes perfect sense afterwards. It's like, we should have seen this coming. Yeah, everybody saw it. That's what comes out worst. That's the worst part of all of this, when it's all said and done. Everybody knew something but never said nothing. Everybody thought something but never talked about it. Going back to California, there was this fucking shooter. His family lived in Santee. I don't remember. Was he the guy that shot up the fucking movie theater in Colorado? I don't know. It always goes back to it, though. You start asking people, and they're like, yeah, they were always strange. There was this one time and this, but we never said anything, and we never said anything. And that's because you're not working with your knowing. Is that a cat or a dog? Oh, it's the cat. You know what I mean? Your intuition, your gut feelings. You know what I mean? You know, you're knowing. Those people knew that that kid was raped and that something was wrong, but nobody would listen to their knowing because they were black people. Is that how that whole story went down? That kid, that was a terrible story. And even Dahmer, that gut punched him when he realized that. I'm going to leave it to you, but yeah, one of his victims ended up being a brother of another victim, meaning he got 2 in the same family, and he didn't even know he did it. And it gut punched the shit out of him to know that. But going into it, it's like, why do they do these things? Because of the feelings they get. These are not just men. We can dig up some women. I've watched them on women too. I've watched them on cults. I've watched lots of documentaries understanding humanity. It's a feeling. Something gives them a feeling after never having feelings before. These are men that I'm talking about that were denied feelings at a young age, and they have to find a way to feel again and wear these, you know what I mean? So going back to it, as sick as it sounds, I woke up and I had a feeling of love towards a man that I never felt in my life. I'd never had this feeling in my entire life. I'd never felt it in my skin. Ever. And it made me go crazy. I want to find this. I want to find out what this is. I want to have this. I want to feel this again. I'm sick with love, and I'm chasing it just like them. I'm a killer for it. I got this feeling inside of me that I cannot let go. I've got to find it. Am I becoming obsessive over that particular person? I could have. I could have been a psycho. I could have. You make me feel so good, and I'm going to kill your wife and take you from your children. And I could have, if you think about it. If my mind wasn't attached, if I was just going off of the absolute desire of this feeling and no logical explanation and no restraint, just going after this feeling that I want so bad, then yeah, it could become homicidal or worse. And that's it. That's it. What happened to these men? They felt something they never felt before, and it became so addictive that they just kept trying to get it again. You know what I mean? Going back to them, sadly, it was, with another man. They felt something that they had never felt before, and they became addicted on this feeling, and this feeling took over. And, it's twisted, but it's not. It's like we can easily become totally lost in the mind like these people. And that's what it always goes down to. Did they lose their mind? Were they insane? What was driving them to do such things? And that's where it is. Was it the mind, or was it a desire? Were they capable of controlling this? Were they a sane person up until this moment? Everybody's sane up until that moment. So in the sense of, most killings are, you know what I mean? Like, you killed my nephew. Why? I don't know. Some gang violence. Somebody told them to do it. They were scared. All different reasons. We never rationalize the actual act. We just judge it and go for, revenge. We never actually break down what the fuck happened right here. The investigators do, and that's it. Even the guy that was representing Gacey, he hated him. But he still felt bad that all this happened. And then the lady, she couldn't stand. Dude, I felt so bad. She's like, I'm supposed to listen to this shit? She didn't say it like that, but she had to sit there and listen to him talk like it was normal. And she couldn't act out because already she was a woman in the field, and they were already teasing her that she can't handle this. And she couldn't. But no man could have handled listening to that shit either. At what point would you not want to punch this guy in his face and be like, you fucking sicko? You know what I mean? She had to take her emotions and be professional and listen to how this man's mind worked. And the whole time, he just kept asking her and everyone else, what's wrong with me? He wanted answers, and everybody else wanted answers. And when there was no answers to be had, he was like, all right, I'm done. He knew that he would be killed. He wanted to feel. He felt nothing. It was right back to feeling nothing. And that's what he said, I need stimulation. Even if they, you know what I mean? And that's those people that cut themselves. They've turned off their feelings. I felt nothing. I had no feelings. I felt nothing. I was completely numb to feelings. I have to learn them now. I had no feelings when I woke up. The first ones I had was rage, anger, and fear. Sadness didn't come till way later, till I worked through this anger. Why am I so angry? Why do I hate people? Why do I hate myself? These are all feelings. I had no feelings. They were completely turned off. to protect me because I couldn't take them. I didn't know how to handle them since a child. These are men that turned into killers because of the same thing. And then you have this saying that we run around saying they're narcissists. They have no feelings. Yeah, bro. And that's what we need to work on. That's the whole thing about the awakening, is your feelings. To feel again. Especially the bad feelings. Because those are the ones you're hiding. All the good feelings are hidden behind the bad feelings. We don't want to feel bad, so we turn off all of our feelings. All of them. And then something like that happens. You get an excited feeling and you lose control. And so going back to it, it's like, what's wrong with people? The mind. God didn't make you this way. It's not in your heart. It's not in your heart. It's in your mind. Your mind, your heart isn't, you don't have a sinning heart. It's your mind that creates these things, that sins upon others, because you've seen it. You believe it. You've seen it's done before, and you can rationalize it's okay because you've seen that it's okay. This is how things are done. I've seen this before. And that's how it happened. So, I wanted to clean all that out. I can't be in the light when I got all of this darkness, but why did I watch that? To understand that, to teach you that. And you can watch plenty of them. You can watch Humanity. Why do you act like that? Because of how you were raised, whatever you thought, whoever talked to you that way. You're an expression of what your mind has seen. That's it. And if we can reprogram that mind, you can express yourself in much different ways. And that's why they send them to, mental facilities and jail, to rehabilitate them, to you know what I mean, to reprogram them in a different way of living. Institutionalized is a different way. And they become comfortable in that institution because now they have what they didn't have on the streets: a family, friends, food, a bed, a shower, clothes. The basic human needs are being met with community, protection. They're safe. You know what I mean? They're taken care of. Things they never had in their lives. They can find it in this place. They're welcome in this place. They're okay in this place. Nobody judges. I mean, they kind of do if you're a pedophile, but they put you with each other. But anyways, it's a congregation of like minds. You know what I mean? You've been through what I've been through, and I can talk freely about what we've done, because you're kind of, in essence, you've done worse than me, is what they're sitting around doing. What you in for? What'd you do? What'd you do? And that's it. We can sit around, you know what I mean, in our sin and still be accepted. And they knew it. They were like, no, not you, Jeffrey. Not you, Jeffrey. They don't accept you, Jeffrey. And he didn't either. He knew something was wrong with him. And then you got, Gacey, the total opposite. I am just the life of the party. I am everything. Everybody loves me. I'm a whole clown. Take it easy, Jeffrey fucking. You got Jeffrey Dahmer. You got Jeffrey fucking Epstein. Put a Jeff. Why they always call it a Jeffrey? Because nobody's ever afraid of a Jeffrey. Going back to it. You gotta watch your thoughts. That's where this all is going. That's what I teach you over here. We work through the thoughts, to work through the emotions, to work through the pain, to reprogram the mind. And that's what it really is. It's like, I always say it. Get me to freaking R. Kelly, I can fix him. Get me to Kanye, I can fix him. Get me to Britney, I can fix him. Why? Because I'm not afraid of what their mind is coming up with. I know I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of these people. You're afraid of them, but it's all in their mind. If you can get to their heart, the mind is, you know what I mean? Love is the most powerful drug, bro, and that's all these people need. Nobody understands them. They don't feel safe. They've never been heard. They've never been seen. They've never been understood. They've never been, you know what I mean, considered special to anyone. And that's what drives people to do the most insane things, is for those feelings. They're looking for those basic feelings in another, or in themselves, you know what I mean? That's your drive, your survival techniques. It's the lowest vibration, and you know what I mean, as far as Maslow goes, there's whale shit. No, just kidding. But, the whole point of what I do is teach you how to be better. And that's what we do, is we mirror other people. We look to others to understand what we're supposed to do and not do. We look to adults. We look to church. We look to authority. We look to the TV. We look to the government. We're always looking to what do we do next? And that's where it is, you know what I mean? We don't follow them. We learn from them. We absorb them. We don't judge them. We try to put our feet in their shoes. Be them for a moment. And that's what it is about, movies and stuff like that, is you want to see what it is to be another person. I didn't watch I did not watch the one before where they made like the Netflix of it, where they took their imagination and recreated the stories. No, I don't want to see a recreation of this madness. I'll just sit here and listen to it, and I don't really watch it. Like, I don't want to see all that. Dude, did you see oh God. He said they didn't have proper PPE. They were wearing jeans and t-shirts with no gloves, just running around. Disease, guys. Disease is so gross to me. They had nothing on them. They were just digging up bodies in his basement. In jeans and t-shirt with their, wiping the sweat off their hands, and still dead bodies, decomposed bodies. They're just, that was the grossest part to me. If you want to know what the grossest part was, is that they weren't protected while they were digging these bodies up. I'm like, oh my God, you were so lucky you didn't get Lyme disease or something down there messing with dead bodies like that. Like, they were just, these men back then, he told this story. He said, I couldn't get it out, so I had to just shove my fingers, break the rib cage, and rip it up. You can't pay me enough to do this. This is not my job. I did not sign up for this when I went to the police force. Nobody said I would have to be digging up bodies in a basement in the mud for the next 6 days. Or for the next 6 weeks. Oh my God. In the sense of, and that's it too, the prosecutors. Nobody ever said I was going to have to sit down and listen to a man tell about how he ate people. They did not train me for this. This was not in the books. None of this is in the And that's it. Go back to those people. They've got to just use their brain. What do I do? Do what you saw on TV. I ain't never seen no shit on TV. Okay, and then the brain starts to, it reaches for things. It reaches. I am watching this bird. It is so cute. She's chasing a grasshopper. She won't just eat it. Oh, maybe she got it. There she goes. She was chasing it all over, just watching it jump and then getting it. Circle of life. It's like, dude, you were really sick. You just be watching killings. Not really. That's a circle of life. I mean, going back to those, I don't know. Like, how could God let those things happen? So we can learn? I don't know. Some things are better not known. Why would, you know what I mean? Those people's families have been asking that question to God forever. I'm not getting in on that conversation. I do know that God was there. It all came full circle. It always does. You can't get away with anything. He only lets you get away with it to hang you with it. Why? To be an example for humankind. In one shape or another, you're going to leave a mark on humankind. Even the most, quietest people, you've never even heard their story, they made a huge mark on mankind. Just their birth. And that's what those stories are. These people had mothers. They had fathers. They had siblings. They had friends. They had communities. When you take a human out of the equation, it hurts all of those people. All those people are now affected. You know what I mean? And it's like they have to learn a new way of life without this person. So it's extremely tragic. But at the same time, we don't get to say how we go. We'll all have to go. And no way is better than anyway. You want to hope that God will be kind enough that we just go in our sleep. And many do, but even then, the families and friends and lovers and everything about those are still not satisfied. How could you take him? Well, I took him in a nice... you know what I mean? And in the end, the pain only stays if the body's alive. They don't feel the pain. You think about, what they did to these people. They were dead. That soul left the body. And all he had was the corpses. There wasn't a soul in there being harmed. You know what I mean? Nobody was feeling that shit. You know what I mean? They didn't feel it. You know what I mean? Once you're dead, you're gone. The pain is over. The suffering is over. It's just over. And, ultimately, until that moment, you got to be honest with yourself. Maybe not like that, but we got We're going to have much more pain and suffering in our days. It won't end until we die. It won't end until we die. There's pain and suffering we'll endure today. There's pain and suffering we'll endure tomorrow. It will endure it every day until we die. Only then will we no longer endure it. Do we inflict it? Or is it just, it's just the way of life right now? We live in hell on earth. It's filled with, you know what I mean, pain and suffering. Overcoming it is the best thing, and that's it. It's like, you find a way to heal your own pain and suffering so you can heal others. Otherwise, we have a bunch of this. People that are in pain and suffering and nobody understands what they're hurting or suffering from. But then, when we come out and we can heal and we can talk about stuff like this, then we can release them. And there was nobody for, you know what I mean? Looking back now, they're dead. All of them are dead. But we can make sense of what they've done now. And we could have told them what was wrong with them when they did it. But back then, no, we didn't know. We didn't have enough data. We didn't have enough of you to understand. We didn't know your type. You actually were a type. There was more of you. More of you came in history. You know what I mean? Is what it looks like. You go back to them and they thought they were the only ones of their kind. Nobody had ever done something like this. You know what I mean? Each one of these killers, but then you look back now and we're like, damn, there was a lot of you motherfuckers. You guys were really busy in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I mean, seriously, that's where most of them, 70s, bro. 70s. Look at it. We had serious serial killers. I've watched them in Europe, too. I've watched them, you know what I mean, all of these different ones. Ooh, the ones in India are scary. They go for kids. Terrible. They're not even killers. They just rape the kids and leave them right back at the house. They put them right back, and nobody can say nothing. The police don't do nothing. Nobody does nothing. Yeah, true story. I've watched these kind of things all over the place. Why? Because they get away with it. There's no consequence. There's no consequence to our actions. It's normalized, and the consequence is normalization. That's it. It's normalization. Meaning, we're not supposed to be penalizing them, but rehabilitating them. Find out what made you do this so we can stop this so you don't do it again. We don't know what made you do it. We're just going to lock you away so you don't do it again. But you're not really locking away the problem. Because whatever's in that person is in other people too. It's not an isolated thought process or genealogy. It's created in the world we live in. The evil that you guys fear is created within yourselves. God didn't create such shit. There was not a demon or the devil inside of Jeffrey Dahmer saying, eat people. You watch the story. He did it because he didn't know how to get rid of the people. He's like, I've seen people eat people. I'm going to try this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to try this. I've seen people do stuff like this. You're like, I would never. I don't know, bro. There's people down here that eat crawdads. That's a whole fucking bug. And they rip their heads off and everything and eat them. And it's regular around here. Like, it's a big thing in the South. They have these crawdad fests where they just boil these. Do you know what a crawdad is? It's a water cockroach. They don't take anything off of it. It's a whole bug that they just boil, and a bunch of people sit together and just eat them like that. They just rip this bug out. Just sit there eating bugs at a table. That's how I look at it. A big fat one, too. They're huge. They're as big as your hand. That is so not normal to me, but it's so normal to them. They've seen it. They did it. These kids do it as kids. You're like, oh, God, you have an eyeball hanging out of your mouth. That's a leg. It's like eating shrimp that hasn't been deveined. There's poop in that. Do you know you're eating shit right now? I can see it on the... That's it. You're like, ugh. You eat cow balls? Yeah, they're called Rocky Mountain oysters. You guys are so strange. Okay. And that's it. Like, try it. Everybody's doing it. Really? I don't know if I want to. Come on, be brave. We all do it. And then you're like, whoa. And that's how some shit happens. So in essence, something was inside of him telling him that he had seen this on TV before and that this is okay. They didn't make the Hannibal Lecter movie yet. But again, you go back and you go forward and it's like, yeah, there were actually people like him that have sex with dead bodies and that eat bodies and that did chopped off heads and keep body parts. You're like, wow, he wasn't one of a kind. He wasn't one of a kind. You know, and that shrine that he was making, I gotta tell you, that looked like a Kali shrine if I ever saw one. With all the heads, he was keeping the skulls, and he had this idea that it was gonna, you know what I mean? He could access, you know, they were with him, and where'd he learn that? Where'd that come from? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've been studying weirdo guys, obviously. Oh, and then yeah, I don't know. My twin flame's probably gonna go ballistic on me too. I don't know what's up with that guy. I don't know. I had a heart to him, and then the Holy Spirit's like, no, but he's in love with his girlfriend. I was like, what is this? What is this? Are you in love with your girlfriend? What is this? Let me go. I'm done with this. So yeah, that happened yesterday too. But ultimately, no, compassion and love and understanding, dude. Compassion, love, and understanding. What was wrong with Gacey? Oh, man. There's a whole lot wrong with Gacey. It was his father, bro. He just replayed his father. So it keeps going back. What's wrong with us? Our parents. But we can't just put the blame on them. It was passed down. What happened to our parents? I can tell you, this could keep going back forever. I don't know because I don't know my line. But what happened to my mom? Her mom. What happened to her mom? I don't know. But somebody fucked her up too, dude. She was way fucked up. How far does this go? I don't know. But it stops here. The fucking bus stops here. My kids have emotions. My kids ain't never been touched. My kids are, you know what I mean, haven't gotten beat. My kids don't, you know what I mean? We don't have that stuff. Had to stop somewhere, dude. Had to stop this shit somewhere. And that's just it. So the lesson today is know your mind before you lose it. Know your mind before you lose it. What happened to Kanye, dude? He believed everything that was coming in that motherfucker. He believes every fucking thought is a great thought. It's the best thought he ever had, and this is gonna work. Is he a serial killer? Some may say. Ultimately, no. But, I mean, in essence, you know, the violence can be incorporated if you've allowed violence into your nature. Do you know what I mean? But those of us that are victims of violence, you either, you know what I mean, or stay a victim or become a perpetrator. I stayed a victim. I was victimized my whole life. I'm a survivor. You know what I mean? And that's it. It's like, oh, shit. So the whole story is maybe not watch those unless you have, you know, I'm telling you, that was gruesome. That was gruesome twosome. Let me tell you, I've watched a lot of these fuckers. I took 2 at a time. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I wouldn't recommend watching it, but why did I watch it? So that I could come back and tell you that God didn't make them that way. And yeah, Gacey had to face God. And what happened to Gacey? He came back and he faced his karma real fast. Real fast. Did Dahmer too? Yeah. He didn't go straight to heaven. Nobody has yet. The gates aren't open. Nobody's there. It's me and the angels, bro. Everybody's in that bosom, you say, or wherever it is. You're in the spirit realm until the final judgment. That's where they all are. Either you make it to the spirit realm or you come back to life. That's it. That's it. Hell on earth is life. Oh, fuck, I'm here again. This sucks. You better make it heaven this time. Fuck this. Fucking hate these people. I'm trying to be better. In essence, yeah. You know, no, he had to come back, but in the sense of he'll come back and still, you know, he'll have to make up for that karma. What will he do in this lifetime? In his next? I don't know. He'll first have the karma of being raped, for sure. For sure, he'll have that karma. But ultimately, he'll turn into an advocator or something. He'll turn, you know what I mean? God will turn him around and make him fight for the people that, you know, for gay people. Because he didn't fight for himself, you know? He'll turn the karma around. He'll be something that he wasn't in the last life. He'll turn this around. Why? Because he got God before he died. Gacey, nah. Gacey's going straight into karma. If he overcomes this karma and finds God in this life, then he can have a God on his side for the next one. But nah, bro. How many times have you done this? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know your fucking Akashic records. I don't know yours. I can only access my own and some people sometimes. Sometimes. And most of the time it's just confirming what you already know. You're going to tell me some shit that you already know and I'll be like, yep, that's true. I feel it. So that was the dump. The Sunday dump is watch your fucking thoughts and stop putting weird shit in your head. You're like, you've been watching Seer. No, I was watching reality. I was watching the truth. I was watching history. And yeah, it was a dirty history. But again, you know what I mean? Yes. Not to say I'm all better, but you know what I mean? That goes in and comes out. It's not stuck in my head. It might come back up as a reference later, you know, and that's what it is. Your brain is always referencing things. It's always referencing things. You have to quiet that mind. You know what I mean? You really do. And it does. It makes you obsessed. You're obsessed about going after things. Your brain is pushing you to do things all the time. And that's what these killers will tell you too. It was something, it was an obsession. It was a drive. It was a lingering feeling. You know what I mean? And that's it. How bad do you have it? How often do you have to look at your phone? I have this feeling I gotta grab my phone. I gotta look. I gotta check my apps. I gotta check on my ex. I gotta check. Hey, check on yourself. Your mind's out of control again. It's stalking people. Night Stalker. It's stalking people. It's getting out of control. It's making you consumed about other people's lives again. It's trying to, you know what I mean? And why does it do that? Because it doesn't want you to look at your own. He couldn't stand the idea of a bisexual man around him, not realizing you're a whole bisexual. Why? Because you had a woman and a man. And he denied that he was gay too. You know what I mean? And anyone that kind of came near him that reminded him of who he was, he couldn't stand. You see how that works? Triggers and all? Feminach? How your outside world is going to bring people that are just like you to force you to face you? Anyways, yeah, they're all people, bro. That was somebody, you know, Dahmer was a boy before he was what he was. We're all just kids. He was still a fucking broken kid. Gacey was a whole fucking child. You can listen to these. These are whole fucking, you know what I mean, warped minds of children in man bodies. And I haven't even gotten to the feminines. But we got a lot of these warped feminine minds, you know, out here driving to, you know, obsession and control and dominance over women, men, and children just the same. Where do you think these men stem from? A narcissistic mother. An unfulfilling mother that told them that their feelings were not important. This all stems from the nurturer. But who didn't love your mother first? That's what I mean. My mom didn't know love. And that's it too. And I try to teach my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter. I didn't know love. I didn't know how, I wasn't loved. This is all new. I might be a bit much at this. I'm just trying to go with my feelings and try to give you what I didn't have and try to show you what I didn't show and try to, you know, it's all new. Nobody loved me. Nobody held my hand. Nobody, you know what I mean? Nobody cared if I was crying. Nobody cared about me. I never had anyone feel this way. So I'm learning how to feel for you and myself too. That's it. As you start to love yourself, you're like, I can do this with someone else. I can give this to someone else. You know what I mean? And that's it too. Me and my daughter, we're funny. She calls me Poopy Face. And I call her Poopy Pants. And that means I love you. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to say I love you, so I'm just going to address you in the best way I can. Poopy Face. Alright, Poopy Pants. You know, we're trying. And that's it. I'm trying to, you know, like, we don't know how to have conversations. We haven't, you know what I mean? I wasn't a nurturing mother to her. I was very standoff her whole life. I was locked up in my own feelings. I just stayed away from everyone and everything. I'll come out and do whatever you want and make you happy, but I'm going to go hide from you now. And that's what I always do. I just hide in places. You can always find me, and I'm going to run to do whatever you want. If you look at me, I'm going to jump up and ask you what you need. I'm just a servant to you. But I'm always hiding. And that's what my kids do too. I'll do whatever you say, and then I'm going to go back to my place. You know, and that's just kind of how we work, but trying to incorporate more, you know, and it's that. And that's what it is we gotta fix these things, but be aware of these things. What do we need? Where were we lacking, and where is it projecting? You know? So it was a good it was a good teaching. Again, you think I'd watch something better. But I learned a lesson. Everything I do, I learn. I learn so much about myself, about the world, about people, about the past, present, and future. Everything is a learning experience for me. Things I've done a million times, I learn something new every day. Because I see it differently. You know, I'm experiencing it from a soul, not from my flesh. But I've never seen it like this before. I see it from my heart, not from my mind. So, you know, that's what I wanted to point out, is what's wrong with these people? What's wrong with us? Our mind is just warped from what it's seen. We can fix this. We can fix this. You're not sick. You're not irreversibly sick. You're not, you know what I mean? I had a personality disorder that they said couldn't be cured. I'm fine. You know what I mean? That can be debatable towards some, but in the sense of, you know, when we go into I'm not getting off on no insanity. They know I'm fully sane. I'm not committing any crimes either, but you know what I mean? They believe that I have a warped belief system. I do. I think you do too. You guys carry a gun to church? Did you know that they do that here in the South? It's typical because of the shootings in the churches. You go into the house of God with fear. Why do people carry guns? Fear. Fear. I need this to protect myself. From what? A bear or a human? You're afraid of man. Right? Right? Why do you have a gun? Because you're scared. To protect yourself, right? 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 So how are you so powerful when you literally are walking around with an item of fear? I can see you're scared. You have a gun. You're scared. You're here to hurt somebody. I'm not scared. I don't need a gun. And you brought your gun into the house of God? Isn't God there to protect you? Who are you going to shoot in the house of God? Why do you need a gun in the house of God? You're going to take life in the house of God? Funny things. You would be like, no, it is your right. Your right to be afraid. That is your right to be afraid. You're not killing an animal. You're not killing an animal with this gun. You keep this gun for protection because you're afraid. It's better to have one and not need one. You don't need one. You're attracting danger by having one. I just want to point that out. And that's what I do. I just like, okay, guys, I guess. You're like, no, that's not what it is. I'm telling you, that's what your mind is telling you, but that's not true. You're afraid. Why do you have a gun? Because you're afraid. People don't own guns unless they're afraid to protect themselves. They're afraid. Period. You're not a man because of a gun. You're not powerful because of it. You're less powerful to have a weapon. It shows. It's an emblem of I'm afraid. So I must keep this to protect myself from you or anyone like you. The only time we need a gun is if there's a bear, a lion, some kind of animal. I can't beat the animal with a bat, but if you come near me, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'll beat the shit out of you, dude. And if you happen to have a gun and take my life, well, then that's what it was. But ultimately, no. I'm not afraid, especially at church. And they do. He said it. He said at any given time, there's about 13 people in his church that have guns on them. They have them at every church. I was like, are you serious? You walk into God's house afraid? Wow. I see them all the time out here. It's normal down here. It's normalized. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, you go into Walmart and they have them. You go everywhere. They just have them on their sides. It's just normal around here. And it's not. Why do you have a gun? What are you about to shoot? There's no fucking wild animals out here. There's no boars. There's no, you know, what the fuck are you about to shoot, bro? At church. Why did you think you need... No, I put it on every day. You're afraid every day? Every day you're afraid? Because cops wear a gun because it's their position. They give them this to protect their lives. Okay? Because they do a dangerous job. What the fuck are you doing that's so dangerous? That you're going to shoot somebody. You have no intention of shooting an animal. You have no intention of shooting an animal. This is in case you need to take someone's life that's trying to get you. If I ask you why you have a gun, guess what you're going to tell me? And I'm going to tell you, you're fear-based. Anybody that owns a gun walks in fear. It's your right to be fearful. That's it. It's your, what is it, 4th Amendment? 6th? 10th? I don't give a shit. It's your right to have one. It's your right. But to me, it's your right to be afraid, and everyone know it. And I can tell you right now, the cops come up, I don't care what state you're in, if the cops pull up to a call and they see you have a weapon, you're in danger. You're in danger. There is a great chance, no matter who you are, they're going to shoot your ass. Because they don't know if you're going to shoot them first. You're asking for trouble by carrying guns. You really are. I am. And that's it. Why do gangsters kill guns? Because they're scared for their lives? Hello? 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 Why do women go and, you know what I mean, get carried to the license? They're scared for their lives? Hello? Why does your grandma have a shotgun in her house? She's scared for her life? Hello? Come on. You're not hunting. You're not hunting. You're hunting man. I want to hunt you. Y'all need to chill with that shit. Anyway, so yeah, I can sit here and look at you guys and be like, what the fuck, Chuck? And your mind can tell me how this is right, but I can tell you how it's not, because I don't see it. I can see it through your head. I can rationalize this. Yeah, it makes sense to the flesh. But to the spirit, no. We see it completely different. Completely different. And that's what it means. So going back to it, I am a soul having a human experience. I have been here many times before. Oh my God, here comes that dog again. He remembers me. Oh, nervous. Are you free again? Are you free again? You stunk so bad last time. I love you too. Go on. Do you need some water? Oh, you stink. Come on, let's get you some water. Anyways, yeah. God is good. Poor thing. I'm not your owner. Nope. No jumpies. Okay, be a good boy. Nope. I love everything. Oh, there's no water over here. It's about to start raining. You need to go find a warm place. Going back to it. Yeah, you needed some water, didn't you? Here. Yeah, guys, watch your mind. Just pay attention to it. Sit alone with it. Start asking yourself, where'd you come up with that? Start understanding it. That's what I do. You good? You want some food? You need some food too? Don't lick me. I don't know where your mouth's been. Oh, I make friends with everything. So too, why are you guys being mean to me? I ain't being mean to you. Meanies. Yeah, going back to it. Yeah, you're not either, dude. You're just in your flesh right now. We'll get you out of there. No, stop. And that's the story. So work on that, and then we're not going back into Famanach. We're not going back in there. We're already in it. We'll do another teaching. We'll finish up we'll start some more of the teaching on Tuesday. But today's Sunday. We're going to be in the light. I'm going to be pulling all of our light. So we got Lumerians, Archangels. What am I seeing on top of here? I see the crystal mandalas, but I'm not sure if we're going into them. And I see all my light codes. We need to go into frequencies. That's what they said. The white light frequencies and the light workers. We're going to talk about your family of light and some other stuff like that. So we have a lot of cards to go over to keep you in the light, but you got to work through the darkness. You can't just be in the light without the darkness. Hey, I love you guys. Catch you in a while. I know. Fun times, right? It is. You guys are going to wake up. We're going to get you woke up, dude. But it starts with you. I can't just push a button. You have to open your eyes. And where is it? It's all in your brain, dude. You need to start opening up to realities. You need to start opening your consciousness. That's what it means to ascend, to elevate your consciousness. Yeah? All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys soon. Later, haters.